Well, hi there folks, it's Matt Hayson here looking at this week's property market. Now this week I want to look at two very contradictory articles which have been published in the Australian Financial Review outlining what's unfolding in the property market. Now the first article here is published on July 11th and notes that agents are seeing a lift in out-of-season interest in selling. And it goes on to note that CoreLogic data is suggesting that fresh listings coming onto the market are 10.8% higher than the 5-year average and now 1.4% higher than the corresponding period last year. It also goes on to note CoreLogic data that a record level of 39.8% of new property coming onto the market in the last month has been investment property. Now we can understand this as many of our clients with investment properties are unsure about what to do with their property in this higher rate environment, but we're not seeing a big wave of new listings coming onto the market by any stretch of the imagination. In fact, most of the conversations we are having with buyers and buyers agents are suggesting that there is a noticeable absence of quality property available. That leads us into this article published on July 9th, noting that aggressive home buyers battle as supply shrinks. It goes on to reference data suggesting that over the course of last week, listing levels have actually fallen by 8.1%, and we're now looking at 12.9% fewer listings on the market this year compared to the corresponding period last year. So in one article, it's suggesting that listing levels are actually 1.4% higher than last year, and in this article, they're actually 12.9% lower. Who is right? This article also goes on to suggest that 3/4 of home sellers that brought their property to auction last week sold, but when we look at the SQM research data, it actually suggests from the 694 properties that went under the hammer last week, the overall clearance rate was sitting at 54.2%. But when I drill down into that a little bit more deeply, of those 694 properties that went under the hammer, just 187 sold under the hammer at auction. So that gives us an at auction clearance rate of just 27%. Now, when we look at the SQM research data from the corresponding period in 2022, there are actually more properties went under the hammer. In fact, 9% more at 761. So that reinforces that there are actually fewer properties on the market this year and flies in the face of the first article suggesting that listing levels are 1.4% higher. So make of that what you will. What's unfolding in the market for us at the moment is there are still fewer properties on the market. Buyer and seller demand remains evenly poised. We've got some great properties open for inspection and our entire team looks forward to seeing you out and about. Thanks for watching. I'll catch you all next week.